Hello guys, I hope you are doing good. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to solve a data structures and algorithms problem which was asked in Microsoft's front-end interview. As you can see, this was posted on July 11, 2024. So it has been nearly 1 year since this interview has happened. The user has posted that he has went through multiple rounds of interviews for SDE2 role in Microsoft. The first round was basically DSA plus JavaScript, where the first question says that he was asked to create a minimum stack, then move zeros in matrix and write view of binary tree, remove duplicate from linked list and spinner with CSS. I've solved all these questions on my course, and as you can see, we have it over here. The right view of binary tree, stack with minimum function, duplicate linked list, and then move zero in matrix, spinner, and lastly the grid component, which was the machine coding question. So if you are preparing for your front-end interviews and if you are looking for a structured study material, then you can check out my course alpha.learnersbucket.com. I have everything that you need to crack a product-based front-end interview. So let's get started. We'll create the stack data structure with min and mix functions. So as you are aware, stack follows LIFO structure, which is last in first out. So the last element that will be added to the stack will be the first one to be removed. It is a synchronous operation, so you cannot remove the items in between from the stack. It follows the order. You keep on adding element to it, and only the last element from it can be removed. So let's create the basic stack structure over here, and then we'll modify it to include the minimum and maximum values. So here, let me define stack, and I'll have the basic methods. So let me create the stack variable. We'll use the array. Arrays in JavaScript are very flexible. We can use it as a stack, as a queue, or as a DQ data structure, depending upon how do you want to use it. It has the methods available to it inbuilt, which can be used. So I'm just creating a wrapper over that. For example, I'm creating this push method, which will take the value and then we'll push it into the stack. So stack dot push and val. So push is the native method available on the array, which adds the element to the last, and similarly we'll have this dot pop method. So pop basically returns the last value from the stack, and we have this method available inbuilt on the array. And then we'll have the peek method. So what peek does is it just shows what is the last element in the array. It does not returns it. So we don't have to remove it from the array. What pop does is it removes the element from the array. So that's why we are returning it. And after this operation, that element, the last element, won't be available in the stack anymore. But in the peek, what we'll do is we'll just peek through which is the last element, and for that I'm just taking the length, the last element of the stack. So this should return me the, or this should give me the peek. And then finally I'm having the size of the stack. So basically stack dot length, it should return me the size of the stack. Now let's create this stack and test if it is working properly or not. So here let stack equals to new stack, and then I'll push stack dot push 1, 2 and 3 as the 3 values. So 2 and 3, and then console log stack dot peek, and then its size, what is the size, and then let's get the last element, and then again peek and check what's the um, element after removing the last element from the stack. So now if I run this, you'll see that we got this error, unexpected token. So let me convert this to, or fix this by creating an fat arrow function. You can create any type of function. I'm just creating a fat arrow function because this is not a class, so this way of creating the methods won't work. Now let's run this again. So we got 3 because that's the last element in the stack. The size is also 3 because there are only 3 elements in the stack. When I pop, I get 3 because that's the last element from the stack, and then when I peek again, I get 2. So our stack is working properly. Now let's modify the stack to have the min and max method that will give the min and max value from the stack. Now one way to find the min and max is you store all the elements, and here let's say this dot min, and what I can do is I can just do return math dot min, and I can just spread the stack, and this will give me the min element from all the elements which are present in the stack. So because JavaScript is a flexible language, it comes with handy methods that helps us to implement things fastly. So using these 2 methods, we can just spread all the elements of the stack to this math.min method, and it will return me the minimum value. If I spread in the max method, it will return me the max value. So now if I come over here, let me remove everything, and let's say if I just say math stack.min and then stack.max, and if I run this, you see we got output as 1 and 3 because 1 is the minimum element from the stack and 3 is the maximum. Let's say after this operation, I'll just add one more 0 to the stack, and then let's again, if we print this min and max, we'll get 0 as the minimum value and 3 as the max value. So our functionality is working properly. This is the most straightforward way to implement a stack with the min and max function. But let's say if you are not to use the spreading operator, then what we can do is, while storing the item or while adding the item to the stack, we can check if this is the first item that is being added or not, and we can have an object value stored rather than the raw value, which can store the current value, the min value that is present in the stack by then, and the max value. So we'll say that if stack dot length equals to 0, which means if this is the first element to be added in the stack, what we'll do is we'll make an entry. So val will be as it is, min will be also val, and then max will also be the val. So this is the first entry in the stack. That's why the value itself is the value that is being provided. The min and max value is also the same. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll get the last element in the stack by using this dot pop peek method. We don't have to remove, we just have to get the element which is at the last, and then I'll get the min as math dot min between the val and the last element, and then let max equals to math dot max val and last element, and then here I'll store it in the stack dot push val as it is, min and max. And then here what I'll do is I'll say this dot peak dot min. So this will return me the minimum value from the last element, and similarly for the max I can do max. This will return me the max value. Because stack works in a linear fashion where you cannot modify the in-between element. So let's say if I remove the last element and if I'm adding a new element, it will do the calculation based on the last element. So everything works in a order. Now let's check it. So console.log stack dot min and max. If I run this, we should get 1 and 3. So we got nan and nan. Let's check what happened. If stack dot length equals to 0, then we are pushing min value as this, max value as this. For this, so here let's last element, let's get this dot peak and print this before returning so that we are sure what's happening over here. Let me comment the max. So we got min as nan and max as nan. That is because here when I got the last element, I forgot to pull the min and max from it. So it should be last dot min and last dot max. Now it should be working fine. So we got 1. Yeah. So that was the issue. Let me uncomment this and run it again. So we'll get 1 and 3 as output. So this is how you can implement a stack with the min and max function. In the next video, we'll solve another DSA or any JavaScript related question from any of the previous interviews. By that time, if you have learned something new today, don't forget to give a like to the video. And if you are looking for a specific topic, you can mention that in the comment. I'll try to create a video around that for you. Thank you.